See. Okay, we're on air. There's a red line. There's a red line on the top. We should be on air.
Really fast. Hey, Alan, be careful now. Okay, open.
Loading. No.
You're on YouTube now.
Yeah. I don't see it going live though. What does it say on the top line there?
It says streaming live YouTube, Garden of the
Okay.
Spirit.
There's a delay here, so.
Delay.
Yeah, it should come up in a few minutes.
All the way to the
About 20, 30 seconds.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm just using the internal mic. Welcome to the Garden of the Spirit class in Long Meadow, Massachusetts, studying apples from the orchard. This class is in memory of Malka Ruth, Bas Moshe, Margarete Vogel, of blessed memory. Okay. Apples from the orchard are selections of teachings of Kabbala from the Arizal, Rabbi Moshe based on the weekly Torah portion, superbly translated and explained by Rabbi Moshe Wisnefsky. Okay. Today we are in the parsha of Tisa at the fourth lesson, page 493. Doesn't say live.
I think it's 20 seconds.
It's been more than 20 seconds. Page 493. We'll see. Maybe it'll come up, maybe not. Right? You can reload. It doesn't cost you. Okay, mixed up souls.
What's the name of the channel?
It's Chaim Harel. Rabbi Chaim Wisnefsky.
RL?
Yeah, it's in Raphael. So today we're going to talk about the golden calf that was made by whom? Yeah, well, who pushed for it? The Erev Rav. The mixed multitude. What a horrible.
What else are you going to call
A mass of people. The Rav is a mass, and Erev, I guess, means a mixture.
We talked about this.
It's a
before.
Torah's expression.
We talked about this before. They
Yes.
Singled out a very definitive group of people.
We did.
Remember we talked about
They were from what?
They were some of the Egyptians that came along.
Yeah, but
Some of the
spiritually
That's
they
not
were-
what Rudy means.
No, spiritually
Did it say that they were transmigrations
No. Oh, okay. Thought we had that.
from the 130 years of
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That was before.
Yes, we had that.
Yeah, but
Same
now
people.
Same people
yeah, but we might not even touch that here.
who are not allowed even in the camp. The internal part. They had to be outside.
outside.
But Moshe insisted on taking them.
But Moshe started taking them, and Hashem didn't tell them. Moshe did this on his own.
Tell them that.
I know, but Moshe did this on his own. He had a class.
Live now.
Class.
Yeah, it's on live. On the website.
CHAIM and then R and then L.
Yeah, or you can go to YouTube
I am on YouTube.
and in the search to Rabbi Chaim Wisnefsky, it'll show up too.
Oh, okay.
They just says, start typing Chaim. It's like chain smokers.
Yeah, that's what I found. Chain smokers. Okay.
Yeah, I remember
Gesundheit.
we
So,
We had a class about it.
Moshe did this on his own.
yeah.
And he felt for them. And he felt a concern for them. And he wanted to elevate them up. He was trying to elevate them.
Yeah. Brought them in. And say that he's wrong for doing it.
No, I didn't say that.
He didn't. He didn't say it then.
No, we questioned it. I remember questioning it. We were very intense in questioning.
And it did not say.
Okay, just see Alan.
See, Alan.
That's all we see is Alan.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
That's all we see is
I don't know if you can hear anything.
Look at it.
Faintly, very faint. There, we just let you in. Okay.
It's not very loud.
So do you want to move closer to me? Plug it in. Plug the plug there. Okay. Okay. That's not so bad. I'm on full level. All right. So the
Now, there you go.
so you want to turn down your volume. So Abraham, it's a mass of people. Okay, a large group of people, and probably not from one ethnicity, from one origin.
Because that means so.
They're mixed. Yeah. So they were the ones behind the golden calf, and we're gonna. That's where we're going today. It mixed up souls. Alan, are you ready? The people congregate. Hold on. Page 493 in the middle.
The people congregated against Aaron and said to him, "Get up and make us a god who will go before us." In order to understand the incident of the golden calf, we would understand what was the intention of the mixed multitude in making this calf at this point. As sages point out, it was the mixed multitude of non-Jews that accompanied the Jews in their exodus from Egypt who instigated the idolatry of the golden calf.
Okay. Now All right. Go ahead to the next one.
I've already informed you in my comment on the verse, and there arose a new meaning over Egypt about the idea of the mixed multitude, in particular, how they were derived from the impurities and pollution of the soul of Moshe, whose soul was derived from the das of Zeranpin itself, which is in turn derived from the mentality of Abba.
So basically, we say that Moshe's soul was like the highest. You don't do better than that. As they were like from the impurities and pollution. Sigim is the dross, and in the Hebrew that's left out of the English, also not just the mixed multitude, but also Milam, the prophet, is also part of this. Go ahead.
They were like the Nachash.
In that, in which way?
Because, as we know, Hashem created Adam and Chava. 2 hours later, they were supposed to make Kiddush over Shabbos, and Mashiach was coming. That was the plan. So Nachash infiltrated and upset the whole apple cart. And the same thing here, the Arizal of the Nachash, because we know that the second time at the plate was at Har Sinai. Moshe Rabbeinu was coming down with the Torah, the original one, and Mashiach is supposed to come. That didn't happen.
So what you're saying is that the mixed multitude had similar to the Nachash, to the snake,
Another tool of Hashem.
in that the snake was the tool of Hashem to
Create the world that we know it today.
curveball,
Curveball.
to throw a curveball.
The grand curveball.
And the same thing with the mixed multitude.
Correct.
It's also part of Hashem's plan
Correct.
to bring in a curveball.
Correct.
Okay. What?
Exactly.
That's
That is the
I
plan.
said it's not even a curveball.
We started.
That's the plan.
That's the entire plan.
Yeah, the plan is to throw a curveball.
It is the way that it is. That's
Time warp.
Yeah, it is what it
It
is.
is what it is.
It can't be anything but.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Okay, continue. Thank you.
Moshe's soul was derived from us, which means that he was an expression of the idea initial divine insight that seems to be made relevant and change reality.
Okay.
But any initial insight appears in consciousness together with an admixture of impurity in the form of illusions and deceptions, which have to be clarified out of the raw material of the insight via the process of Veda. Moshe's error was in not recognizing these aberrations in the insight granted him for what they were, thinking that they could be incorporated and elevated into the picture. In material reality, this was expressed as his inclusion of the mixed multitude in the Exodus. Elsewhere, the Arizal explains that the mixed multitude were indeed intended to be elevated eventually, but Moshe tried to do this prematurely. This is evident. This is evidently a classic example of the Baal Shem Tov's teaching that every process of spiritual growth must proceed through three stages of submission of the ego in order to gain new insight, separation of goodwill and evil in order to refine and purify the insight, and sweetening of the impure elements of the insight with the power generated by the pure refined insight. Moshe was trying to skip the middle stage of this process.
That's the comment partially we're talking about before. That
He wasn't wrong in what he did, it's how he did it.
that's how we
What's the right
So it
time?
was the right time. He took a step process, and it didn't do it. He wanted to go right to breaking them up. Instead of doing it gradually to get them, I don't say indoctrinated and cultivated into everybody, into the whole mass, so that they would be a part of it.
Because he could not fight who he was.
Right.
Moshe is an Egyptian name. He had many names. And his real name that he was given on birth was Tuvia, good man. Right? Moshe means hero, and that's how he worked with people. He wanted to draw them in, pull them in, make them better.
Right.
Always try to transform to the better, bring them higher. So he figured he could do that with his hair was love
Right away.
right away.
And that was the problem.
in a way, it's like our role. In a way,
Yeah.
that unconditional, then separate us. The way it's done.
Correct. And the difference with our movement is the fact that it was say it was easier in some ways. People came in some ways. They in some ways seeked him out. He didn't go searching for them. They came to him. And there wasn't masses. There wasn't a lot of negativity for him. They wanted to see what he had to say in some ways. They had an open mind. Means did that. They were just
All right. Back. Fighting it.
They were also the remnants of the cataclysm.
That's what
Of a what?
Cataclysm. When you think about it, what Hashem did to Egypt.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think that they yeah.
The remnants.
In a very practical plane, not in Kabbalah, they were in awe and impressed with with everything that happened with the Jewish people, and they decided they wanted to be part of this. Perhaps they weren't ready though for the commitment. We have two teachings regarding converts in general. One says that the reason that Jewish people went into exile, there's your plan. The reason the Jewish people went into exile was to attract the converts that were meant to, that had these holy sparks that were meant to, that have to be brought back to Judaism. So this is the purpose of, this is one purpose of the exile. We also have another teaching that says that nothing has caused so much trouble to the Jews like the converts that they picked up. How could they both? How could both statements be compatible? There's all kinds of converts. There's not. They're not a. What's the word? You know, monolithic group. We have our greatest, some of our greatest rabbis, and some great rabbis today are converts.
They're discouraged in a lot of ways, questioned, it's not an easy process. It's to make certain that the commitment is there. We don't have this same thing happening. We have people who are coming over who want to be part of Israel, and not just being part of the big one who come in and just stay on the fringes.
Also, can't lose sight of the fact that these 600,000,
The Jews
the Arizal,
don't know. I haven't. I don't think I've seen a number.
but these just weren't the crop. I mean, this wasn't just the crop. These were some of them were high level priests.
Yeah, right.
They were.
Sure.
And there's a medrash that says that Pharaoh's daughter was amongst them, right?
Well, I don't know if she was part of the mixed multitude, but she converted early on.
Right. She came along.
Yes.
So this wasn't just scrub.
Now, was this all mixed multitude or just part of it
That what?
that were involved? That we don't
The
know.
Torah says the mixed multitude. Doesn't mean all of them. Doesn't mean 10%.
Right, I know. But you don't know. In some ways, some of them
Again,
could have. You don't know.
but I want to point out. So you have like you have today, and then problems are caused because people join, right, and then the commitment's not there. Um, Over years, they lose that commitment, or there are disappointments, there are personal cataclysms. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
There are cataclysms in their personal lives when something happens, and then they lose that energy. It's not good. But what Alan said is a corruption of the process. He said that we put them through the ringer.
Right.
And, right. So we put them through the ringer, and when that's not done, or when they're not vetted properly, they're not vetted, and they're not put through the ringer, then it becomes, yeah, it's not taken seriously. The commitment's missing, and then they, they walk away from it hard, or more than that. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a good situation. So
Only members of the Jewish nation that actually go to court and
yeah.
dig out the Jews.
So thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we
But it's true.
so this is so the anyway. So this idea of the mixed multitude of the era of converts that we have is there is multi-sided. The what he says here about Moshe and about symptoms teaching, I haven't seen this before, but he talks about three stages. There is the three stages. Um,
Three stages of conversion.
no.
Three stages
Of
Of pushing away.
spiritual growth.
Growth.
Number one is submission, putting aside your own self sense of self, so that you're open to to receive it exactly to something new. Thank you. Then when you get this like new idea, you need to discern. You need to analyze. You need to see what he calls separation of good and evil. So you purify the insight and or to analyze. And then the third stage is just to sweeten the impure elements, so that you're sweetening it, you're refining it. Those are the three stages. Moshe accepted the according to this, Moshe accepted the new idea, the Erev Rav, and then he went to sweeten them, but he didn't separate the good from the bad. I guess it's like I guess in a little practical sense would be to assess them, see where they're holding, and to educate them. And say, hey, we got to cut this out. We got to develop this and cut this out.
Submission to ego is to get rid of all their a priori knowledge, so they're open to something new to them, and are willing to accept it. And that's just it. First, they have to be willing to accept it. Then they've got to realize that
Yes.
what they did believe is there is some good in there, and get rid of those concepts, and then be able to accept it with the sweetness of what happens when you accept everything, follow all the rules, follow everything else.
Yes.
You follow all the sweetness that comes from being observant and understanding. It's not just a single process. Okay, you're converted.
Sweet, yeah. So it says Moshe skipped the middle step. Moshe went or took them, walked them through the three-step process, but he skipped the middle step.
The middle step is the hard one. It's discerning but the first step is to some extent easy. And the last step depends on the second step. The second step is the hard work.
want to tell you what I'm.
Otherwise, it's a quick sentence.
I want to tell you what I'm hearing you say. I forgot. This is it. The tough step, you said, is the middle step. That means to take an honest, objective look at yourself and say that, you know what, this I'm not doing well. This is a negative habit. It's a bad trait. That is very, I think, an extremely difficult step. Rudy, can you do me a favor? You just, tap the, yeah, thanks. And I think that's an extremely difficult step. Take an objective look at yourself and say, you know what? I'm not communicating here properly. I'm not communicating there properly. I'm not controlling my temper here. I'm not controlling my temper. I'm not controlling my mouth. I'm not being sensitive.
And to understand that you have to stop doing it. That's just part of it. You can understand that what you're doing is wrong, but then you have to be willing to change.
Yeah, but the first step is to say, is to notice that this isn't appropriate.
And then the next step is to be yes, that's appropriate. I'm going to change. That's why. That's why.
Yeah, but
when you think about it, there's an even more practical approach in understanding most that potentially do not make the right decision. And that is, if you look at it from the standpoint, and oftentimes you lose sight of it, is that Egypt, and even till this day, was steeped in evil. It was complete evil. It was just the essence of evil. And Hashem had just caused this cataclysm. And here's Moshe, who's in the early gestation of the life of the leader. He hasn't really led Bnei Israel yet. This is his first chapter, right? So here he sees these evil people that are following Bnei Israel to now what's going to be Har Sinai. Originally, it was just supposed to be sacrifices in the desert for 3 days, but that plan altered. Now they're going to Har Sinai to get the Torah. And here's a man who grew up in that society. He knew the depth that they had fallen through. And you see all these people coming along, and you're not that professional as a leader yet, and you say, well, wait a second, maybe their aim is true. You make that assumption. I think what we have to learn from this is never assume. You don't think so? You don't think that Moshe made that assumption that they had already been filtered and that because they followed Bnei Israel, that they had accepted?
Was the assumption towards the whole?
Well,
I don't know if it was.
What were the plagues? What did Yosef begin? It wasn't just to cataclysmize Egypt. It wasn't just to crush Egypt. It was to transform Egypt. And to
learn that.
And to crush the Klipa.
Yeah.
And to elevate Egypt.
Right.
But that was the 10 plagues.
But that wasn't happened. That has not happened. It exists to this day.
This is part of the process.
It's part of the
Moshe
process,
says,
but I think Moshe,
this is how we transform Egypt.
I think Moshe bypassed that middle step.
Yes.
Because he assumed that they had transformed.
Well,
that's just my opinion. I have no basis other than my opinion.
I think if Moshe took them out, they were ready.
Did he take them out or did they follow?
He accepted them.
He took them along.
They came along.
He accepted them.
He didn't stop them.
No. He accepted them.
Come along.
No.
He didn't say jump
Right.
on 1 foot.
Right. He accepted them.
Yeah. Okay.
This explains. Okay.
A little more.
Let's see where we're going.
I just think that he made an assumption. I think he made a rash assumption.
No.
They've had that. He'd hoped they had that.
Hope.
He hoped they had it.
Hope is
They
Good
did.
place.
There
Good
was-
place.
there was-
Hope.
It wasn't the best.
He was hoping.
an objective analysis of the situation, that's where they were and what was going on in them.
I'm gonna defend
Yeah, I
Moshe.
agree with that. I agree with that.
I'm gonna defend Moshe on
He
this.
didn't go through extreme vetting.
That's probably true, but he saw the
He saw some.
good.
But this is who he was, right? Moshe Rabbeinu was that way. He tried to always find the good in someone, right? We know that when the Pasuk says that he looked to the left and the right, he looked to the past and to the future of this particular person
Yes.
and saw nothing good in this man. So he was always searching for the good in someone, always. That's who he was.
He did. Moshe did what Hashem wanted him to do.
Did Hashem say bring me a problem?
No,
He
he
didn't
did
Hashem
not
tell
decide.
him? Exactly.
But
That's my
Hashem wants.
point.
That's what Hashem wants him to do.
He didn't stop him from
He
doing
didn't stop.
it.
Hashem. If Moshe did it, that's what Hashem wants him to do.
Because it goes back to the
If
whole
you
plan.
if you
It goes
can
back
if
to
you
the
can
plan.
justify this faith,
It goes back to the Nuchash. I'm telling you.
yes, but
That's-
even more than that. But even more than that, because if Moshe decided it was the right thing, then Hashem wants that. Oh yeah, let's go. Let's read ahead. Maybe we'll find some enlightenment.
We find
It's hard to lemmer.
we find a similar phenomenon about Artagan said, the Torah says there arose no prophet.
Bill was a greater prophet than Moshe.
Based on this,
Some say he was the greatest prophet that ever lived.
because since Moshe was the greatest in Israel,
Yes.
so it means that out of Israel there
No,
was.
but some of the portions say that Bilam was the greatest prophet.
This is the source.
Okay. When we're going to dark, eventually throw it out.
They said it's 40 years. So that I think they said it's 40 years now since Star Wars first came out. 77.
77.
I just saw that.
40 years. Just like
Is that
that.
crazy?
Oh, come on. 40 years.
Okay. So go ahead, Jim.
I have also informed my comments on the verse that mentions the Father Arabic. The Arabic, what the incarnation has done. Son of Beor. Beor is like the son of the Father. Okay? Thus, this whole family is derived from one common source of invention. All priorities and Bilam's two sons, Gid and Yom, that are mentioned also in the Zohar. They celebrate the so if
This I think is mentioned. It might even be in the Gemara. It says there's a later person who finds it says it was Lavan, Kushan Rishatayim. Yeah, that's.
they were connected.
I don't remember how we see the connection. Here it says it's from. Okay, continue.
If
Moshe.
his motion embodied power,
This person.
Beautiful. Thus, these souls are derived from the attributes of the purity of Moshe's soul, possess something of his insight into the unity of creation, but is more and could not divine the divinity underlying his liberty. He therefore possessed great natural power.
Wow, that's an unusual thing. Imagine this combining of disparate forces of nature that appear unconnected and unrelated, and harnessing them to produce results. So it's denying or ignoring the divinity. It's pretty far. The godliness. All right, page 495, the bold text.
Now, I have already informed you in the Gate of Reincarnations, as well
Which
as
is a book.
as well as in my discussion of the commandment of grace after meals, how souls transmigrate progressively through the four kingdoms: mineral, vegetable, animal, and human. I told you there also that there is a fixed time for their incarnation into each of these levels, after which they ascend to the next level. Now, the time fixed for being incarnated into the vegetable kingdom is the first 4 months of the year, which are Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, and Tammuz. After this, the reincarnated souls ascend to be incarnated into animals. Now, Beor.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
The connection between reincarnations is because people eat food from the other domains, hopefully, and then for the other domain, the vegetable or animal become part of the person, so that they invigorate and nourish the person who's eating. Why? Yeah, true. But, okay, now Beor.
Now, Beor, the father of Balaam, was reincarnated into the vegetable kingdom, but he was not able to proceed in his rectification by ascending into the animal kingdom because he was so polluted by evil. He was undoubtedly the highest aspect of the impurities in this soul root. So therefore his grandsons Eunice and Yumbus, who were the leaders of the mixed multitude, as is known, as well as the mixed multitude themselves, all wanted him to be rectified, for his elevation would mean an elevation for them.
And this is a good thing, not for
This is why they went along.
This is not. They want him to be elevated for holiness, because they want to be elevated. So they, Eunice and Umbris, the children of Bilam, were the leaders of the mixed multitude. Zohar. Location cited. See footnote 30. It's,
All
they're all related.
Beor's grandsons are Eunice and Yumbus.
Yes.
Beor is the father of
Lavan,
Reincarnation.
Beor, Bilam, and Eunice and Umbris. Lavan,
Yeah,
Beor,
they're the children. Beor's
Bilam,
grandfather.
Eunice and Umbris.
their father,
Yeah.
and they're the leader.
also couldn't curse Jewish nation.
We'll see.
I don't know if they're trying to raise
Rudy,
Or is it
both.
or
Let's go on, boys.
okay.
Eunice and Numerous were the leaders of the mixed multitude, as is known, as well as the mixed multitude themselves, all wanted to be rectified for his elevation to the elevation of men. Okay, so they examined and understood through their magic that the only way it would be possible for him to ascend from there would be if they made the Israelites sin. Through this, the forces of evil would be strengthened, and they would be able to extricate the soul of their grandfather Beor from the vegetable kingdom.
That's exactly what Bilam did when he fought
Moabites.
Moabites to seduce the Israelites.
Didn't say why.
I'm just
No,
pointing
it
out.
doesn't say why
But he's trying.
causing the Israelites to sin would elevate him.
No, but I understand.
Strength.
But the element, that type of process trying to cause the Israelites.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but why it doesn't say. Page 496.
Why I don't know.
Gershon.
To the sin of the Israelites would be added the fact that the sin would occur through Aaron, the high priest, the Holy One of Hashem. The holier the sinner, the greater the evil he generates when he sins, for the holier the person, the more divine power he embodies. Added to this, also be the fact that they possess the same golden plate inscribed with the words, Ascend, O Ups.
Let me.
That's Yosef. Yosef. The sarcophagus of Yosef.
Yes.
That's why it's an Egel Hazar, because in the Zohar, when they were trying to find Yosef and bring him along, he was hidden in a sarcophagus in the Nile, and he was known as Tor, as the ox. So they inscribed on a piece of parchment, and they send the ox, and then the sarcophagus.
Moshe wrote on a piece of metal, "Arise, ox," and tossed that in.
Right.
They put him in the Nile for two reasons.
Preserve.
To preserve what?
Preserve his body.
That the blessing, that he should bring blessing to the Nile, and also that the Jewish people wouldn't be able to leave them because they wouldn't be able to find them.
But they didn't know where he was, so that's why this happened.
Where had they find out? Moshe, when all the people were going out borrowing gold and silver, Moshe went to Usher's daughter, who was still living, Sarah. So he asked her if she remembers where Yosef was. She told him in the water. In Yaakov's blessings to his sons, his blessing to Yosef was Banos Sa'ada Alei Shur, that has a few meanings. It's cryptic. It's poetry. Huh?
Sure.
The girls climbed the walls. Shur can mean a wall. That the girls of Egypt climbed up walls to get a good look at Yosef when he went parading by. So Alei Shur means that they climbed up the walls. But play on words, paranomasia. It can also mean arise, ox.
So when that occurred, and the sarcophagus came up, the Medrash also said, same thing as the Medrash, says that Eunice and Yumrus were there by the Nile, they saw it, they picked it up, and when they were at Har Sinai, they took that piece of metal or parchment and they threw it into the fire, and that's when the shore came up.
Yes, but I haven't heard it like that. But what's mentioned in Medrash is, and there might be somewhere like that, but it says that young boy was the one who pulled who got the piece of metal.
Okay.
Who was he? When the Egyptians were when the Jewish people didn't fill their quota of bricks, so the Egyptians would take a Jewish baby and fill the space with the baby. Moshe saved one of the kids. Yeah, Hashem said, again, you want to act on your own, we'll see what comes of it. Moshe saved the kid, and in the end, he's the one who stole like he was the intermediary in a way. Catalyst.
But meanwhile, it wound up somehow in the hands of Jonas and Yunus.
Okay.
Because they were the magicians. And
That I didn't know. All right.
that's one explanation as to why it was an eagle.
Yes.
The question I've asked all the time.
That's
why of all the God's creatures was it?
That's why it's an ox, because of what's the because that's what's on the plate. Arise ox. What is the first sign of the zodiac?
Taurus.
What's Taurus mean?
Cool.
So they were invoking. They were invoking the Taurus. Yes, Nissan.
But then there's also another theory. There's another theory that I've heard, and that is, and again, it's only from the study of Egyptology, is that the only pharaoh who was not a man was Hatshepsut, the woman, and she had all the paraphernalia of the pharaoh. She had the horsehair, and she had her hair cut to one side, and she took on.
When did she have horsehair? Was that planted?
No, the beard was horse. It was from the tail of the horse.
She taped it on.
Well, they tied it on.
Tied it on.
And then they would have the follicle, the hairs would come out the side of the head. So, but anyway, she took on the persona of a pharaoh, and her insignia was a cow with two sucklings, okay, and and big horns. So in and of itself, cows don't have horns. So it was a ruse. It was a ruse. And so she took that on because she knew she was a woman, but she was acting like a man. So the point is that insignia, that icon, meant rejuvenation, the rejuvenation of life, the full cycle of life, birth and death. Right? Okay. So because in the end, when the air erupted, we want a new God. Right? In the beginning, they said we want a new leader.
Yeah, first
Then they said exactly. Then they said we want a new God.
Yes.
One of the reasons why it was a Taurus is because they wanted a God that was rejuvenated, brand new era, completely new paradigm.
Okay.
So that's another theory as to why it was an eagle and not an eagle.
Okay. What's the queen's name?
Hatshepsut.
Hatshepsut.
Like that. And her son, one of her son's names is Moses.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Not like not hot cross bun.
This was before Moshe. Moshe came in the 1905.
The seconds remind me of Rome, which is
Romulus.
But that's
Romulus. Romulus.
Yes.
That was with a wolf,
That's
not a
a
cow.
Don't say cows, steers do, cow.
Steer is not a form of a cow.
Heifers.
This was a cow that had horns. Okay? But a cow doesn't have horns. It's not a steer.
My daughter was at
Related.
Same
Same
family.
family.
It's all divine providence.
Man, you got the last
My daughter was at a symposium a few weeks ago, and one of the speakers said that gender is a spectrum. It's a spectrum. And today, if you go on Facebook, I don't know if it's on Facebook, you have to list, you can get to choose your gender. You know how many genders there are now? Really? They're over 60. They're over 60. That's a microaggression.
A microaggression.
Yeah, what you said. There are over 60 genders now. Cis and cis boom and cis boom ba and he she and she he. It's limited.
Okay.
And you thought there were two.
I like just two myself. I just keep us
Okay.
There are over 60. Okay. But actually, what you see here is that it's not a new concept. Egypt had this. We have in the Medrash. What you just said, this idea of
Let me just say this. They made Sodom and Gomorrah look like a nursing home.
yeah, Egypt certainly. Okay, 496 in the middle. We're up to in Moses' farewell blessing.
In Moses' farewell blessing to the Jewish people, he describes Joseph as an ox, most eminent. His is the power of the ox that is given to him. In Jacob's blessing to Joseph, the same word for ox appears, although in a different meaning, that of a wall. Fruitful son is Joseph, fruitful son above the evil eye, daughters tread over the wall to gaze on him. The words for over the wall in Hebrew are alei shur, which, if slightly revocalized, can be read ascend, O ox, alei shor.
Very slight adjustment.
Sure. The sages tell us that when Joseph died, his coffin was placed in the Nile River. And when the Jews left Egypt many years later, Moses stood at the edge of the Nile and cast into it a golden plate inscribed with the words, Ascend, O ox. The Joseph coffin rose to the surface. In this way, Moses was able to fulfill Joseph's wish to have his bones removed from Egypt and buried in the land of Israel. Obviously, this golden plate possessed great power. Thus, they devised to make the golden calf, which is also called an ox, with the powerful magic tools in their mouths, which upset the order of supernal realms. All the powers we mentioned combined together, that of the evil generated by the Jews' sin, that of the magic powers they possess, that of the holiness of Aaron, and that of the holy name etched on the golden plate that was used to elevate Joseph in the Nile. This combination produced a golden calf, which was animated by the spiritual life force of the grandfather Beor. Beor thus ascended from the vegetable to the animal kingdom, and the mixed multitude accepted him as their leader, who would inform them of the future and tell them whatever they would need to know. And all this was possible by the fact that they made the Israelites sin, as we mentioned.
No, his name is Boar. That's the name of.
He's not a Moabite.
Laban's son. Aramaic. Has to be Laban's son. Aramaic.
Bilan advised the Moabite.
Yeah, it doesn't say where that Bilam was of this nationality or that one. Where?
Somewhere.
Midian. Midian. What? Oh, that's trying to think if it says anywhere. If it says nationality. No. It's always Blum Ben Baor. Did you know where we talked about him or his Baor? I think when we way back when we talked about the 8 kings from Edom. I think we mentioned him.
I was going to say 4 kings.
Yeah.
What was Laban?
But they traveled.
Laban was
No,
Yisro, Bilam, and Laban.
The third one. The third one was Eel. Job.
no, Laban is
What?
We don't even know that he was real.
According to this opinion,
Okay.
it was Eve. The three.
And then there's also an opinion. It was Laban. I'll find it.
Google it.
I will find it. Laban, Bilam,
tribe.
and
What if it was
Third
Bilam? I don't think so. It says Bilam, Yisro, and Eel.
Jethro, yeah. Okay.
So the week Beor,
Hold on.
Hold a second. Wait.
So now, my father's a bull. Their grandfather is a bull.
now
He was elevated from the
vegetable to
vegetable.
the animal.
Used to be a tomato. now he's a bull. And I should mention, the bull was made from, the eagle was made from gold. Okay, how big do you think this eagle, this idol was? In the images, it's always like life size. It was made of gold. It's probably very well be a few inches high, maybe 6 inches. That's my guess. I don't think it's 2 feet high.
They have that much. Yeah, they have some
They
gold,
have.
but
How much gold exists in the world today?
A super tanker.
that's it.
Super tanker.
That's it.
I think the size right now less than 3 Olympic swimming pools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2.5. I don't know how big a super tanker is.
However big a super tanker is, that's the world
The
supply.
world supply, I think, is 2.5 Olympic swimming pools of gold.
That's right in the rivers, in the ocean.
Hmm?
Rivers, oceans,
But you're talking about pure gold, though.
in circulation.
No, that
No.
what? Yeah,
Oh.
what's been mined?
Okay.
But they
Jewish people contributed. Yeah.
was it in the mail?
They gave the milk and
Man. Shouldn't badmouth the women.
All the time to do it.
Still attached to the ear. Okay.
All right.
To 496 at the bottom.
The soul of the week Beor, which was present in this calf, was who yelled out, saying, "This is your God, O Israel," and as our sages have stated.
What does that cause? Animated. The thing got animated and actually spoke. Okay. Alan, continue 497.
This is also the inner meaning of our sages' statement that they fed the golden calf grass, as it is written. They made a calf at Horeb and bowed down to a molten image. They made their glory bitter in the form of an ox eating grass.
And that is a verse from Tehillim.
To explain, since Beor was incarnated in the vegetable kingdom as grass, not a tomato, as grass, the golden calf ate this grass in order to extricate Beor's soul that was incarnated there. By eating this grass, the limbs of the calf became animated one by one, and Beor's soul ascended from the vegetable to the animal kingdom.
As I said, when you eat something, so you're elevating that, you're absorbing it, and then when you digest it, it becomes part of you.
They accomplished all this through the power of their magic. And this is why they made the golden calf in the month of Tammuz, for that is the time of reincarnation, ascending from the vegetable kingdom into the level of animals.
I said before that the first 4 months of the year, Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, and Tammuz, is the vegetable kingdom.
Right.
Belongs to the vegetable kingdom. Oh my.
That's concluded.
Please don't walk on the grass. Yeah. Look at that. Eunice and Humorous, huh? The Pillow twins. Okay. So we'll pause here. We'll continue next time with Vayakhel. Thank you. Can you hit Control and 1 at the same time?